All right, Coach, we're just gonna have you wrap up. Your thoughts on this past week on the road with the Liberty Delaware trip, and what's the focus is going into this homestand with Missouri State and FIU coming here.
Yeah, obviously glad to have that trip over. That's a long trip. We've knocked out two of the longest ones, and then we don't start class until Wednesday, which I think is in our favor for sure. But a good road trip, and not good in the sense that we didn't win two games, but good because I think we played better basketball for three halves of the four, and put ourselves in position, obviously, to get a sweep on the road, which is really hard to do. And I thought the guys played really well on Saturday. Got our first true road win of the year, and and hopefully that'll give them that confidence needed that we can do that, and we can play good basketball when we need to, and hopefully it'll lead us into what's going to be a really, really hard road homestand. Our games left, there's no easy games left, but this one on Thursday will be a really tough one. Missouri State's, very physical, great defensive team, great rebounding team. They've got a great inside game, very well coached, disciplined. So it's going to be a tough game, and a team that beat us at their place. And then, of course, on Saturday, against FIU, they pretty much manhandled us at their place, and was probably one of our worst conference defeats thus far. So tough week ahead. I do think our guys are, ready for the challenge, and they know what's in store, and they also know what's at stake.
Just going back to last week, kind of touched on it there. What did you guys learn about yourselves, knowing how well you played on Saturday, and then on Thursday playing at Liberty, tough place, still unbeaten at home, and you guys lost by 2 points. I think that's the closest the team has been to beating Liberty at home this season.
Yeah, we got off to a bad start in the first half. We didn't play very well, and I was pretty disappointed at halftime, and our guys they just really recovered and rallied, and I think it just tells you when we play good basketball that we can beat anybody. And even though we didn't win the game, we were down 17 at half, and I think tied it or took the lead once, and then of course missed a pretty makeable shot at, with 3 or 4 seconds left to win the game. So and then a controversial play, maybe the possession before, but I just got to grow from that. Got to keep getting better. I thought that Saturday we were really ready to play and locked in, and and it was good to see us put two halves together. So I just think that our guys understand again, how good they can be, and at times we've shown that we could be one of the best teams in this conference, but we have to be consistent, and got to be able to do it at home and away, and got to be able to do it against really, really good competition, which is what we're going to see for the next however many games. I don't even know how many games we got left now. Just worried about Thursday night.
Elijah's a guy that's really starting to kind of come on these past couple of weeks. What have you seen from him in these recent kind of games that we've been able to lead to this success?
Elijah's, he's a very talented offensive player. For sure, he's been getting us off to pretty good starts. I think, since we've inserted him into the starting lineup, he's really gotten off to a good start in every game but the Middle Tennessee game here at home. That's really not Elijah's holdup, is just what it always has been, and the reason that, it took forever to get him into the lineup, and that's just he's got to defend. If you're going to have a good defensive team, it all starts with your point guard. Your point guard has to take the other point guard out of the game, and he's capable of doing that, just not always something that he wants to do. So Elijah knows the deal. When he does what he's supposed to do and he guards and defends at the level of my expectation, then he's going to play a lot. And he's a guy that we all know can really score the basketball.
A rematch with Missouri State and FIU this time here in Las Cruces. They both dropped 89 points on you guys. I know during that time stretch you were very defense needs to step up at that point. Just what's your guys' approach heading into this, second round of games against two opponents that give you guys trouble?
Well, yeah, I don't think we played exceptionally well at either one of those places. I thought we made a pretty good run at Missouri State late. But both games and both teams, we didn't defend. And, and you can't take away from your opponents. They both played very well offensively and made shots and got the ball inside, and they were tough to guard and defend in the post. And so we have to get better and guard better than we did in those two games, and I think we're guarding better right now. We came home and got a few things cleaned up. We changed a few of the schemes, and our guys have really settled into that, and we're kind of going in the right direction. I think defensively we got all of our defensive numbers basically flipped back around. Our field goal D is still a little bit too high, as well as our 3-point D. Those two need to continue to drop, but probably the one that I'm really proud of is, we got our points down. Early in the season, I think we were giving up 80 in conference. We got that down to around 74 right now, so we're trending in the right direction. But the biggest one, and I think has made the most drastic improvement of our team, is rebounding. We were upside down, I think 6.2, and now our head is above water. We're at 0.7 right now, so we're trending in the right direction. This game on Thursday, and that game on Saturday, for that matter, both of those games are going to definitely challenge us on the glass, and we'll have to rebound the ball against both of those teams. They're both big, and they're both really pursue, and they're tough. I think tough teams rebound the ball.
Coach, now that we're kind of hitting that second half of conference play, getting into that, how do you feel that this team is trending and the cohesiveness offensively is starting to go?
Offensively, except for the Middle Tennessee game, I've been really pleased for pretty much the whole, probably since conference. So, 7 games. How many have we played now? 7?
Something like that.
We played 7 conference games. My gosh. But 7 games, I think except for the Middle Tennessee game, we've played very well offensively. We've moved the ball. I thought once we really started to understand our identity and what we do great, then we've really taken off and moved the ball, and we're getting better. We found the sets that fit our team and our players and our personnel, and so I really like where we're at offensively. It's interesting because at the beginning of the year, it was our weakness. We were pretty good defensively early, and we won games by guarding, but we weren't great offensively, and I was very frustrated as a coach, just trying to figure things out. And I just knew our offensive talent was better than what we were doing in scoring, and especially threes. We weren't making threes, but I just thought we had better 3-point shooters than that. And I just felt like once we got flowing and started figuring out our offense and how we wanted to play, our guys settled in and really took off. And so, I think we're a good basketball team offensively right now, and defensively, just for that stretch on the road against these two teams that are coming up against us, we've been pretty good as well. And I just think we haven't been consistent. When you're not consistent, then your record is whatever ours is, 10-7, instead of maybe 13-4 right now. So just got to keep getting better and improving. The great thing about Conference USA is it really prepares you. We know that. Like, you got to be ready to play every day and every night. We know how hard it's going to be, and I think it's going to come down to whoever's playing the best at the end of the year, and we want to be that team.
Looking back at your previous matchup against Missouri State, what adjustments do you guys kind of want to make heading into Thursday night?
Well, on that road trip, which we've alluded to a few times already today, we weren't very good defensively, so we're going to have to guard a way better than we did at their place. They started off that game, I think they made 5 threes in the first 5 or 6 minutes of that game, and we just aren't going to be able to do that. Now, a lot of that is based off of how good their inside guy is. He might be the best 6'4", 6'5" center in the country. He's very, very strong and efficient. And we have to do a better job. I thought Kyrie's came in and really gave us a good matchup against him. And then, those other guys are going to have to play better. Kyrie's can't play the whole game, so those guys got to play better, and we got to figure that thing out inside, because he's a problem in there for sure. And then they just have good, solid, strong players. Their defense is highly underrated. They're one of the better defensive teams, in my opinion, in the conference because of their physicality, and they're fundamentally sound, and I think their scheme is very good. So it's just going to be a tough basketball game, but fun. I mean, it's what you play for. You get to this point in time in January, and you have a conference opponent like this coming in. It's going to be second day of class. I'm hoping our students are here, and who knows? I'm hoping that we can put maybe 10,000 people in the Pan Am on Thursday night.
It's the start of a 3-game homestand for you guys. You guys sit at 3-4 in conference play. What's just kind of the message you're going to give to your guys heading into this week where you're playing 3 games in 1 week?
Yeah, I mean, the old saying, it's time to make hay. We have an opportunity right now to put ourselves in a position to do some good things and get our record probably back to where it needs to be and trending in the right direction. So those are positives, and I also think now we have a little bit of momentum winning a road game, and hopefully after this homestand we can go back on the road and continue to play good basketball and just want to continue to trend in the right direction. We know how tough this conference is. I know there's a lot of people out there now that are looking at all these leagues and they're wondering why people are dropping games, and it's just tough. I mean, there's a lot of parity in college basketball right now. The old days of a team, like even a Duke, those teams that play, I don't know, 30 games a year and 20 of them are at home. I mean, those days are over, and then it's just tough because you're trying to win these road games and everybody's pretty good at home. So, it's frustrating at times, but it's also fun. I mean, it's different and it's a challenge, and you have to get ready. And even this week, us being at home and we've played very well here this year, it's still a very tough game and a tough opponent. So, we'll have to definitely have good days of practice and good preparation leading up to it.
All right, Anthony, obviously you guys lost to these guys last time around. What do you think you guys need to change to try and turn those losses into W's?
I would say definitely doing a better job of defending the three-point line, especially for myself, and I mean obviously the whole team. But they're a really good three-point shooting team. I feel like they play kind of inside out. They play through their bigs, but then also you have to help, which makes their shooters open. So I'd say taking away the three-point line and then just being really physical inside, because like I said, like 80-90% of their whole game is just throwing it to the big men and kind of letting them create and score. So I'd just say being really physical and keeping them out the paint.
Taking us back to last week, lost to Liberty by 2 in their place. They're still unbeaten at home.
Yeah.
You guys are the closest team that's gotten to beating them this season there. And then you guys bounced back really strong on Saturday. Just what do you feel like you guys kind of learned from last week, and maybe especially more from that Liberty contest? I know it didn't go your way, but it's still a good showing.
I feel like a big thing for us was just like dealing with adversity, especially on the road. Like when we go down previous games, we just didn't really know how to kind of come together as a team and lead each other to kind of come back and fight. And I feel like we did a great job with that. I mean, we were down 17 or 18 at Liberty, and obviously that's a really hard place to play at. And we came back. We tied the game with a few minutes to go, and we came up short. But I feel like that was kind of the game where we just realized like what it takes to stay together on the road and what it takes to win, and we'll definitely get them next time.
How does it feel just to come back home? You guys had a lot of success here after a long road trip and try and carry that momentum, and against two teams that extra motivation with the losses last time out.
Yeah, I think just kind of like, I guess that Liberty game just kind of showed us that if we just really focus on just fighting and beating adversity, we can be at the top of this league. So coming home with that momentum, I mean, you always play better at home. We have the fans and stuff. So even if we do go down at home, we know what it takes to come back. So I feel like just knowing how to fight adversity is just a huge thing for us, and being at home is just always nice and carrying that momentum. So just focusing on that.
You guys get 3 straight here at home, three games in a week essentially. Just how do you guys kind of feel about this opportunity heading into this week, knowing you guys are 3-4 in conference and have a good chance to do some good damage here?
Yeah, I feel like we're just kind of, as a team, we're heating up at the right moment, and I feel like it's all kind of aligning. Like we played some really tough teams at the beginning of conference. We're on the road a lot, and now I mean we just won, and now we have a chance to be, like you said, 3 games at home. We could get 3 big wins at home and just kind of carry that wave we're on right now. And I mean, there's no, easier or better place to kind of do it than doing it at home when you're comfortable.
Playing two teams that you guys played on the road. Obviously, results didn't go your way. They both dropped
Yeah.
89 points on you guys. I know during that week, Hooten was like, we need to play better defensively.
Yeah.
What's kind of been the point of emphasis, just from a player standpoint, as you guys head into these two games where, you guys had trouble last time out facing them?
Yeah. I feel like defensively, we just kind of like understood a couple things like within how we guard people, within scout and stuff, and I feel like we're just doing a better job of everyone understanding it, and then just who's gonna guard who and stuff like that. Just kind of like what we talk about in film and our scouts and stuff like that. So I feel like we're just really starting to understand the scouting reports, and I feel like we've done a good job last 2 games of following our scouting reports. And that's obviously what our defense is predicated on. And so I feel like we just got to do a really good job to listen to the coaches that tell us what to do, the scouts, and just follow it. And then if you kind of follow that, then you'll be successful.